Welcome back, everybody. Todd here. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll consider giving me a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button and tagging along. So today's video is going to be about us taking receipt of two TrailMaster MB200 mini bikes. These are the larger size mini bikes. Now, a couple of months ago, we bought the TrailMaster Storm 200. That's a physically smaller bike. It'd be great for the smaller grandkids. And so we decided to pick up a couple of the larger size bikes. That way, not only can the kids ride them as they age and get bigger, but the adults will be able to have ball with them as well. So come on along today. I'll show you the delivery. We'll unbox these things, uncrate them, and assemble them, and show you what they look like. So come on along and let's take the journey together. I got notification today via email. They're supposed to deliver the two larger mini bikes today between 3 and 6. So I came home and made some space in the shop, cleaned some things out. I moved the, show you here, I just pushed the camper back a little bit that direction. I moved the boat over closer to the door, got this mini bike out of the way. Still plenty of room to get in and out of there, but that opens that whole space up for me to have them offload the two crates and hopefully give me room to be able to work on them. Plus, I still have plenty of shop room here to finish my bench project. So yeah, with it being February, plenty of winter left that I'll be stuck inside, so I'll have plenty to do here in the coming days and weeks. So I'll be back once they deliver these things and I have something to show you. Okay, just delivered him. He was able to use a hand-pushed pallet fork and brought him right in. And there we go. So, we've got some work to do, obviously. And I don't mind telling you, when he parked out there, I was a little bit nervous that I was going to have to somehow get those from the road to here, but he came right in and put them in the garage. So, good deal. We got a nice day today. It's 39 degrees here in Michigan. End of February. It's supposed to get up to low 40s today, so it'll be a good day to work in the shop. Won't take much heat. So we're going to go ahead and get this crate unboxed and see what's under there. We'll take one last look at it as it's boxed up or crated up. You know, they do a pretty good job of crating that. It's sitting on a pallet. It's on a metal frame inside of there because you can see the metal hanging down that end there. So we'll go ahead and cut the plastic off first and then tear the cardboard off and see what it leaves us with. Got the plastic off. Obviously we've got two bikes. So you've got two bikes sitting on that pallet side by side. One of these is a black one. One of them's supposed to be a red one. Let's hope they got that right. So, okay, next up, let's cut the metal bands and take the cardboard off. There we have it. The boxes are off. I do have a black one and I do have a red one. So we're looking at our TrailMaster MB200 mini bikes. Both in a crate, similar to what if you watched our TrailMaster Storm 200 mini bike that's parked over there, it came in a similar type of a crate. You can see that you've got your paperwork. There's your title. And it's all bubble wrapped up good, just like the other one was. You got them back to back. Here's the title there. And of course you got all your goodies tucked down in there. So, okay, Next order of business is going to be to get those metal crates off of them and see what's next. We'll be back. I got the bubble wrap off and set some of the paperwork aside. So I pulled the crates apart. You can clearly see there's two separate crates just sitting on that pallet. So got the black one on this side, red one on the other side. So you can see the bike is attached to the frame right down there. So it's pinned in there. And then the front forks are attached right down here to the crate. Same thing here. They're using you're attached here and down on the bottom. Now they've disassembled the shocks. So that bolt right there that's got it in the frame, you're going to pull that bolt out and that's going to go through there. You'll lift the bike up, put the shock in there, and use that hardware right there to tighten it down. You'll do that on both sides. You can see inside the crate, it's the same thing. That's how the bike is held inside the crate back here. So we'll do that on both of them. But yeah, the next thing is to just take the bolts off of this crate, and I should be able to lift the top of those crates right off of there once I unbolt them. So that's the next step. Back in a flash. And just like that, I took the top of the crates off. They're still sitting in the bottoms, but now I can get around them to work on them. You can see you got you got the front tire, the front fender, and all the hardware in a bag down there. That'll be my next situation. Just set the frames out here. A lot of good angle iron I'll be able to use on other projects. Rear end. You can see how the shocks will have to go on there now. You just unbolt that. Pop the shock up in there, lift it up, and bolt it in, and we'll be ready to go. So, coming along, easy peasy. Not a project that anybody should steer away from. Give you a progress report. So, got this one pretty much assembled. Got the hardware out, put the handlebars on. Really all you've got to do is drop the top on there. The bottom bracket's already there, so you're just putting 4 bolts in there, setting the height. I've just got it finger tight, a little bit more than finger tight. We'll adjust the handlebars when we get it. Got the back shocks on, was no problem. Got those tightened up and was able to slide that front packet out of there, but it wasn't easy. I had to have Laura come out and help me by lifting the back end way up so I could pull it out of there. The next one, I'm going to go ahead and unbolt it from the forks and lift it up before I try to pull that out of there. So that'll be the game plan over here. Still have this one to put together. I got the tire aired it up to 20 pounds. That's what they recommend for seating it. It had some air in it, but it wasn't, didn't have enough in there. So I went ahead and popped it up to 20 pounds. I'll leave it at 20 for a little while just to make sure it's beaded up good. And next order of business will be to unbolt the axle. That rod that's holding it there is your axle rod. So you'll pull that out, pop the tire in. I'm going to throw a little grease on that thing when I slide it through. I think I'll put the fender on before I put the tire on. Then the tire's kind of the last thing, and then I should be able to lift that thing. Once that comes off of the bolt there, I'll be able to lift the whole thing right off the crate. So yeah, that's my order of business. So I'll go ahead and proceed on the red one, and once I get it put together and set aside, I'll show you my progress. We've got the red one done. Everything went pretty straightforward. A couple of dicey moments getting it off the crate, but with a second person, it's not that difficult. Put a little grease on that axle on the front just to make sure. Why not, right? I didn't see the guys do that from the power sport place when I watched them on YouTube, but it only makes sense. So yeah, decent sized bike. It goes together good. You're going to need to go through this whole thing. There's a lot of loose parts, in my opinion. So go through the whole bike, tighten everything up, adjust everything so it's nice and squared up for you, and you'll be good. So now I'm on to the second one. Get that done so I can get this pallet out of here. Okay, so the next move is back shocks, handlebars, and then lift it off of there. Okay, be back in a few. And just like that, we've got two bikes. They're looking pretty good. You know, it wasn't a terrible job. And I think I mentioned in one of my other videos, I was going to go and buy these at a dealership about an hour and a half away. But when I did the math on it, we actually saved, because I bought it from Texas. I didn't pay any sales tax, so I got free shipping, no sales tax, plus no cost for assembly. I saved right around $400, and I just couldn't justify spending $400 more money to avoid having to go through what I just went through. Now, again, I still have to do an oil change on these. They should ship with that Chinese oil in them, so I will be, they recommend go ahead and use the Chinese oil. Fire it up and let it idle for about 30 minutes to warm up. That way all that oil will come back out when you do an oil change. It'll be heated up. So I'll let them idle. I'll put some gas in it, let them idle for 30 minutes, and then I'll do an oil change, put some synthetic oil in them, and I will go through these things with a fine-tooth comb and tighten every single bolt and adjust everything. I mean, I've already spotted something on the back here. Check this out. So you can see that's the tensioner for the chain, right? And that's like right in the middle of that bracket. But if I come around and I look at this one, it's right up at the top, right? So instead of being centered top to bottom, it's way up towards the top. So not a big deal, but you know, I'm going to make that right. I'll back that off, center it up, make sure that it's squared up. So, you know, you just have to take it with a grain of salt. You know, they're Chinese built. It is what it is. But so I'll go through these things and do that work, and I'll take you along on that as well. So for now, over and out. Okay, we've put gas in them. It still has the Chinese oil in them, but let's see if we can fire them up. Gas on, choke on. Gas on, choke on. Well, that one's not wanting to fire. Let's just make sure I got my... I'm on. That's off. That's on. Ooh, wait a minute. These were bass backwards. You know what? That's crazy. Off. That's what the problem was. And I'll turn the choke back on now. Alright, let's see this one. I don't know if it's mislabeled or not. That says off. That says on. Let's try it. First bolt. Okay, I've gassed up the bikes and started them up. Yeah, they got that Chinese oil in them, but I'm just going to let them warm up for about 20 minutes or so. And then I'm going to shut them down and drain all that oil out of there and replace it with some synthetic. So be back at you with an oil change here. They started right up, no problem whatsoever. I'll show you a little something that's interesting because the kill switch is complete opposite on each bike. I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay, let me show you what was going on with the kill switch. Here's the black one. Down is on. Forward here is off, right? And by the way, that's the way it is on, here's my Storm 200. It's also a Trail Master. But this one, push it down is off, push it forward is on. So that's different, but this worked correctly. Push it down, it's on. Push it forward, turns it off. Okay, look at this one on the red. What's it say on the bottom? Push it down is off, push it forward is on. Well, that's what I did, and it wouldn't start. You saw that. As soon as I pushed this back, the same way that this is labeled, right? Yeah, here we go. Push the little one to make it come on, as opposed to thinking it was off. It fired right up. So, I mean, what's up with that? Yeah, I mean, not cool, but it is what it is. It's easy enough if we know just what's going on, how to deal with it. It gets worse when you're driving. That's not right. All right. One of the issues that I had with the red bike was that it kept making a huge vibration sound. And what it turned out to be is that red tank. See, that's a false tank. Obviously, your gas tank's right there. So this is really aesthetics, right? And what it came down to is I ended up having to put rubber washers behind all four of those screws that hold the tank down. I had to cut back right along in here. I had to take my Dremel out, cut that back. I had to pull that all the way off and re-screw and glue the cap from the inside. And so, I mean, it was not easy. And now, interestingly enough, the black one, I had zero problems with that. So, you know, it's just the luck of the draw, I guess. But I also had to go through and really check every screw and bolt on this thing, because this was clearly vibrating more than what the black one was. And I did, in fact, find several bolts that needed to be cranked down. And so at least that problem is fixed. Now, the other problem that I had was the front wheel was damaged in transit. The way they packed it, you know, they had part of that crate sitting right across it, and it did damage to the tire. But it also, and it damaged the tire so badly that it's out of round. And so when you're driving it down the road, and I'm driving it down a subdivision street, it was doing the thump, 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 like you would expect if something maybe had a broken steel belt, you know, in a car or whatever. And I'm going to say that's the damage to the sidewall of the tire. And I could not get the dealership to even listen to me. The manager's name is Manny, and it was a joke. And I will do a video on this company and what my experience has been. But beware, just because a website's saying they offer a 1-year guarantee and a warranty and this, that, and the other thing, because this company did that, I'm here to tell you that was nothing but smoke and mirrors. And it's if it wasn't happening to me, I would think it was comical, just the way these people behaved. So, like I said, that's for another video. But I do want you to understand that you're going to have to do some work on these things. You're going to have to retighten every freaking bolt on them and whatnot. But, you know, it's a small price to pay. Between the 3 mini bikes that I bought, if I had gone and bought them from a dealer here in the state of Michigan that's about an hour and a half away, and I have no doubt if I bought these bikes from those guys, these things would be dialed in, tuned up, and ready to go. And I know if I had any kind of a problem, I'd be able to go right back to them, and you know, they'd honor it. These guys are great. But it saved me $400 to do all this crap myself. So, you know, even if I ultimately have to put a brand new tire on the front of that red bike, guess what? I'm still way money ahead. So, but that's me. I don't have any problems turning a wrench. Yeah, you know, it's no fun to have to troubleshoot stuff, but it is what it is. So just saying that, you know, beware that, you know, you buy these things online, whatever, they are built in China, and, you know, you're going to get what you get, and then you're going to have to deal with it. So, but I'm very happy with the bikes. TrailMaster, the way they package these things, honestly, generally speaking, and they crate them up and ship them, I mean, they really have done everything they can do to protect these things. It's just a matter of whoever packed that red one got it wrong, and the crate kind of came across the front tire. And I'll show a picture of what the damage was. You can decide for yourself whether you think it's a big deal or not. It's a pretty big deal to me because, you know, the front tire's not running right. But, you know, this too shall pass. And as I said, I'm very happy with the bike. So, hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if you would. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you'll be able to, you know, be notified when I put out another video. And I will be doing some more videos, especially on the bikes once I get them up to the cabin and start riding them, get the grandkids going on them. So again, thanks for hanging on.